Hello and welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Show. I am your host, JayJones. Black Entrepreneur Blueprint was created specifically to educate and inspire Black entrepreneurs to launch, build, and grow successful businesses. Join us as we help build an economic power base in the Black community by promoting business ownership. If you are currently an entrepreneur or want to be an entrepreneur, we invite you to join us every week here at Black Entrepreneur Blueprint.
Welcome to the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, episode number 260. I'm your host, JayJones, and today we have another informative and exciting show in store for you. Today, family, we're going to talk about the power of direct-to-consumer sales. Why and how you need to take advantage of this now. The power of direct-to-consumer sales. Why and how you need to take advantage of it now. Before we get to today's episode, I just want to share a few things with the BEB family. First and foremost, I want to welcome any new listeners to Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the podcast. Please stick around until the end of today's episode, and I'm going to give you all of my social media handles, and please connect with me. Also, my new book is out, A New Black Wall Street, Circulating the Black Dollar Worldwide by Building Successful E-Commerce Businesses. So if you're interested in building a successful, sustainable e-commerce business, please go to anewblackwallstreet.com. Pick yourself up a copy. It's $14.95 plus shipping and handling. Now, if you need additional assistance in building your successful, sustainable e-commerce business, I've created a compatible online course titled Educated E-Commerce. Now, you can enroll in that course at educatedecommerce.com, and it takes you from point A to point Z in terms of building your business, finding profitable products, and being successful online on Amazon, eBay, other platforms, in addition to creating your own profitable websites. Now, in terms of circulating the black dollar worldwide, I've created two platforms to help us do that. The first platform is BeSmartByBlack.com, BeSmartByBlack.com. So if you are a Black product producer looking to connect and sell to Black consumers worldwide, please go to BeSmartByBlack.com. Upload your products on there. It's free to upload. So please go and upload your products, and you can connect with Black consumers worldwide. Now, for any freelancers that are out there, so if you do anything on Fiverr.com or Freelancer.com, I've created a platform for you guys titled HireBlackFreelancers.com, HIRE, BlackFreelancers.com. So you can put your information on there and you can connect with consumers and businesses, Black consumers and Black businesses worldwide who need your services. Now, also, well, the biggest reason that I created Hire Black Freelancers was I was looking for a videographer in Philadelphia for an event I was doing, and for some reason I could not find one. And that doesn't make any sense with all the talent and skills that we have in our community. So please go to BeSmartByBlack.com, put your products up, and HireBlackFreelancers.com. It's free to put your information up there to connect. And also, if you're looking for me to come out, if you have an organization and you'd like me to speak at a church, an organization, a school, university, or whatever, or for my book tour, just go to bookjayjones.com, bookjayjones.com, and it's a short form you can fill out, and I'll get right back to you. Also, if you are in the BEB Academy, the Black Entrepreneur Blueprint Academy, which is closed right now, but it will open up again one more time before the end of the year. I just uploaded a new ebook titled Social Traffic Rush, the 10-part course to getting a rush of targeted traffic from social media. So if you're a BEB Academy member, please go in. It's available right now, and it talks about getting traffic from Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Medium, Reddit, Quora, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and SlideShare. So please make sure if you're in the academy, go in there and you can actually find that course updated. It's actually an ebook download, but that'll be in there for you to take advantage of and use as a resource to start building some social traffic to your business website. Wow, that was a mouthful. Now, today's show topic. Today's show topic is the power of direct-to-consumer sales, why and how you need to take advantage of it now. So if you've listened to this podcast for any period of time, you guys know that I'm big on e-commerce and using all the tools available and resources such as the internet to sell your products and or services. So many eons ago, before the internet was out, I had a product brand and I talked about it on several of the shows. I can't even remember the episodes, but because there's so many. But I had a line of condoms, not condos, condoms. And my partner and I, we had a line called Zulu Condoms, the condom design with the black man in mind. And the tagline was respect and protect. And on the back of each package, we had the statistical data showing the repercussions of unsafe sex in the black community. Now, this was in the early 90s, so our condoms used to be thrown out by TLC, the group Luke and the 2 Live crew, and we made a lot of traction. We were in all types of Essence magazine, the Source magazine, tons of newspaper articles, and the whole shebang. So if you ever want to see any of that stuff, let me know, because the logo and everything was hot, and we were making crazy inroads. The problem was that the margins in that industry are very low. So if you're selling a 3-pack or a 12-pack, you're not making that much money. So one of the things that I always said to my business partner was that, you know, man, we were actually ahead of our time, because the way we had to sell the product was through distributors. So we opened up, we were in a ton of stores in 7-Eleven in black areas. We were in Pathmark, which was a supermarket here in the Northeast, don't exist anymore. And we were in a lot of convenience stores and gas stations. And so we had to go through a middleman to actually sell the product, which obviously was going to cut into our margins. Now, we did do some direct to consumer marketing. We used to have radio stations that would call us up and interview us. And we actually were on a radio station in Houston. I believe it was called The Box in Houston. And we did a giveaway. So we had people calling up and we give away some free condoms. And it was so crazy because our phone lines were like jammed. We had like 4 phone lines. And after that interview on The Box, I mean, we had so many messages, it was crazy. So just imagine if we could have connected with those consumers directly, as opposed to going through supermarkets, convenience stores, and things of that nature. So in my perspective, when I look at the internet, I'm like, my God, because I was selling before the internet for my own business. And now for people that are younger than me in the newer generation, they just think that it's normal. But for somebody with a perspective that sold prior to the internet, it's amazing. And I think we need to take advantage of the direct to consumer pipeline. You know, it doesn't really make sense to have a middleman if you don't need it. Now, some things you may need to have a middleman, but you can always go direct to consumer also. So it's not an either or proposition. So if you want to sell wholesale to convenience stores and things like that, that's fine. But you also need to have a direct to consumer connection. And today we're going to talk about why and how you need to take advantage of it. So I wanted to give you a little preface or a little background on why it's important. So, and I'll give you some real numbers from the condom business. So we were selling back in the day, a 3-pack was like $2.95. That's what we were selling them for. We had hype graphics packaging. The condoms were black condoms. And so we were getting, like I said, a lot of publicity. Problem is, publicity is good, but it needs to have or lead to profitability. All right. And so what we would do, our cost with packaging and everything was close to, for a 3-pack, was close to about 75 cents. Packaging was actually more than the actual product. And then what we would do is we would sell it to a retailer for $1.50. So we're only making 75 cents on the 3-pack. And then the retailer would double it. It's called keystoning. A lot of retailers want 100% profit. They pay $1.50. They want to make $3. So we were making 75 cents pretty much. And the actual retailer was making $1.50. So you can see if we were able to go direct to consumer, it would have cost us 75 cents and we could have sold for $2.95. Okay, and that's $2.20 profit versus a 75 cent profit. Almost 300 times more. So that's the power of being able to sell direct to consumer. And so let me start off by talking about 4 reasons why you want to sell direct to consumer. Number 1, the big one, is you cut out the middleman. So there's more gross profits to advertise to your consumer. So in the example that I just gave you, is it better to make 75 cents going through a wholesaler or to make $2.20 being able to go direct to consumer? Now, out of that $2.20, you're going to have to allot a percentage of that for advertising. And I always talk about this when I talk about e-commerce to my students, because you need to have the margins to advertise. So don't think if you put something online that automatically it's going to sell. You're going to need to have margins. So now with $2.20 margins, that's my gross profit. I can actually use that $2.20, not all of it, the least amount possible, to connect directly to my consumers or prospective customers. So why? Reason number 1 is you want to cut out the middleman. That middleman in the example that I gave you was, he was making $1.50 and I was only making 75 cents. And basically all the risk was on me. I had to create the product. I had to ship the product. I had to store the product. And all they did was put it up on the shelf. And when it sold, they made that $1.50. And then I made 75 cents. So cut out the middleman. And so it's more gross profit. And you can use that gross profit to advertise. All right. Why number 2? You control the sales process. So you can control all the components of the actual sales process, including customer interaction, customer service, and KPI, key performance indicators. So when somebody else is presenting your product, it's based on how they present your product, if they present it at all. So, for example, when we sold in the Pathmark and 7-Elevens, we had no control over the sales process. We had no control of where they placed our product in the store. And if you're familiar with selling via retail, a lot of times major companies pay for placement in areas that people will see your product. So since we weren't paying for placement, what we used to find was that our product would be either behind the shelf, way on the bottom where people couldn't see it. So it wasn't visible. And in turn, if it's not visible, then the product isn't going to sell through. And then in turn, if it doesn't sell through, there are going to be no reorders. But everywhere where the product was visible, we found that the sell-through rate was crazy. But once again, it's all a pay-for-play game. So number 2, you can control the entire sales process. Now, if somebody ordered directly from us, we can control the customer service. Okay? We can control the customer service. So if there's an issue or a problem, this pack only had 2 in it instead of 3. No problem. We're going to send you out the original pack, and also we're going to add in something else for you, to take care of you. So controlling the sales process, how people interact. Have you ever gone to a store and you're looking to buy, say, a pair of Nike sneakers or whatever, and say the person that's helping you is rude and really doesn't want to be bothered? Now, the question is, Nike had nothing to do with that. But are you going to go back to that store again based on the way you were treated? Probably not. So once you control the sales process, you can control everything around it. And once again, customer service is paramount in building a successful product or selling, a successful product and or service. So number 2, you control the sales process. Number 3, you don't have to wait for payment. So when you cut out the middleman, and anybody that sells to larger stores or, through a middleman, many times you have to wait 30 to 60 days. They call it 30 net or 60 net. And so that means you have to manufacture your product or service, send it to the retailer, and now you're going to have to wait 30 to 60 days to get paid for that. Okay? And what does that do? All right? It decreases your cash flow, and your cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. Cash flow is like blood flowing through your veins. If you don't have cash flow, you're going to go out of business. So number 3, you don't have to wait for payment. When you sell direct to the consumer, if it's with PayPal, if that's your payment processor, you get paid immediately. If it's through Stripe, you get paid in about 2 days. And so there's a whole different ways to be able to get paid, and you don't have to wait for payment. So that's another benefit of going direct to consumer. And why, number 4, you build a direct relationship with your customer. And I kind of touched on it a little bit, but as opposed to letting the middleman own that relationship like Amazon does, you own the relationship. When they order from you, you're going to get their address, you're going to get their email address, and if you want to, you can get their phone number. I talk about this a lot on some of the episodes too. Even though I'm a big proponent of Amazon, Amazon lets you know, hey, these are our customers. We're letting you sell your products or services on there, but these are our customers. And that's why you can't connect directly with people that buy your products on Amazon unless you get their email outside of Amazon. Because in your back office, if you want to communicate, that email address is encrypted. So you can technically communicate with that customer that bought something through Amazon. The problem is you just don't know their email. And if you send anything that's outside of the terms of service on Amazon, that email's not even going to go through. And I've had instances where I just sent out an email, hey, if you have any issues or problems, contact me at my company email, and they actually would block that out. So once again, number 4, you want to build direct relationships with your customers. All right. And that's imperative. So we're talking about today, guys, the power of direct to consumer sales, why and how you need to take advantage of it now. So we talked about the why. Cut out the middleman. You control the sales process. Don't have to wait for payment. You build direct relationships with your customer. Now let's talk about the how. And this is where we get into some issues and problems. And as a serial entrepreneur building tons of businesses, working with people in my coaching program, this is one of the biggest issues. It's how. Okay. How do we do this? The first thing we have to do, guys, is we have to be patient and build your database. Be patient and build your database. And the way you do that is you create content, or you can create a contest of some nature. But the real way to build a solid foundation and your database is really to create content. And let's dive into creating content real quick. Now, content can be of any form or fashion. It could be a short video. It could be a PDF. It could be a checklist. It could be a podcast, whatever it is. You need to be able to create content. And there's several easy ways to create content. Number 1, you can document a process. So if you want to create content on how to do a podcast, I could film what I'm doing right now, the tools that I use, and I can document that process, which is a great way to create content. So if you're doing something, just document what you're doing. It doesn't necessarily have to be video. Okay? You can be written down. Another easy way to create content is you can reteach what you hear. For example, you could decode a chapter in a book or a video. Okay, so you can reteach what you hear, what you read, decoding something. So literally, I've seen people take chapters out of a book and then they summarize those chapters. And that's an easy way to actually create content. And another way to create content very easily is teach something you know. It could be a short video. I go on YouTube all the time. If I need to do something with my phone, something's acting up, I go and I Google or whatever, how to turn my phone on when there's a blank screen or something like that. So teach something that you know. And once again, this content doesn't have to be crazy and super produced. Once again, it could be on a cell phone. You're just recording something or you're writing something down. And what we're talking about right now, guys, is the power of direct-to-consumer sales, why and how you need to take advantage of it. And we're talking about the how to do it right now. So number 1, be patient and build your database. And you build your database by creating content, right? And not just garbage, but content that's good. content that shows people how to do something, content that solves a problem, content that talks directly to the prospect. Okay? So that's number one. Number two, you want to build a sales funnel. I talk about that all the time. And all a sales funnel is it actually moves people along from a prospect to a customer. So you get somebody to raise their hand. It could be for a free video series. It could be for a checklist or some type of PDF. But build a sales funnel. It's relationship building. Okay, you're not going to get married, ask somebody to marry you on the first date. You got to build a relationship. Okay, and this is how you do it, using a sales funnel. I'm a big proponent of ClickFunnels. That's what I use for a lot of my sales funnels, or actually most of my sales funnels. So you want to build a sales funnel. And number three, you want to stay in touch, be connected. So have you ever gone to a store or somewhere you buy a product or service and that's the last you ever hear from that store or that establishment? That's not good business. Even if it's a follow-up checklist, how was your experience with the store? So you want to stay connected. Okay, you want to use quality and useful content, emails, videos, articles, or whatever. So whatever that customer bought or whatever it pertained to, you want to have quality and useful content that you can continue to send them. And this is how you build long-term relationships. So with the podcast, my podcast, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, that's a long-term proposition. I've been doing it since 2014. Every Monday for 260 episodes since 2014. And that's being patient, building my database, okay, putting out content. I got free content and I have content that you have to pay for. So I'm giving you all types of different options. If you don't ever want to invest in anything in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, just listen to the podcast. If you want to go deeper, you can take one of the online courses, or join the BEB Academy. So you want to be able to provide content at all costs and at all times for people, okay? Because you need to stay in touch and connected. So today's show, family, the power of direct-to-consumer sales, why and how you need to take advantage of it now. And I'm telling you guys right now, if you're not selling something online or direct-to-consumer, you're missing out. One is the worst number in business. If you got one income, that's the worst number in business. So if you're not doing anything as a side hustle, if you have a full-time job, now is the time to start your side hustle while you have a job. All right. Not after you get fired and now you're pressed. Do it while you have a job. And then that can possibly transition into a full-time business. But I talk about the reluctant entrepreneur a lot on the podcast too. And a reluctant entrepreneur is somebody that has thought about starting a business, never really had the inspiration to do so until they get fired. Now if they get fired, they're scrambling because instead of building slowly and building a foundation, they need money. I got to get money. As opposed to building that foundation while you already have money coming in with your job. So if you're thinking about starting a business and you're not selling something online, you're missing the point. One is the worst number in business. One customer, that customer goes you out of business. One income, that income goes you out of business. One person, if something happens to that one person, you're done. All right. So the power of direct to consumer sales, I'm telling you guys right now, your perspective, once again, is probably totally different from mine if I'm older than you. Because all we knew and all we were taught was, man, how do we get in these stores? How am I able to sell to these stores? And the only direct to consumer we pretty much had was through a catalog, which we used to do catalog sales too. If you go out and do a flea market, if you have a retail location. But now you can do this from the comfort of your own home. And what I don't understand is why you're not selling something. It could be as simple as cleaning out your house and putting stuff on eBay. Okay? Cleaning out your house and putting something on eBay, direct to consumer. Instead of having a yard sale, like right now, it's about 125 degrees out here in Philly. The humidity is off the charts. And I couldn't see myself putting up a yard sale today. But You can do this online, direct to consumer, from the comfort of your own home. Please take advantage of the technology and tools that we have. Why are we always behind? Now, it's funny. We set trends when it comes to music, fashion, dancing and culture and all that. We need to start setting some trends in business. We need to stop following the trends, but setting the trends. And so sell something online. I don't care if you got a job or not. Sell something direct to consumer. And I was telling you about my cousin, even if it's not online, create some products or something. And if you're at a job, hey, show people what products or services that you have. Okay? So create a sales sheet with a price list. If you're selling lotions or body scrubs or whatever, go ahead and do that, and you can still make additional income direct to consumer. That's just like these party plan companies. I had one friend, she was doing like these in-home party plans, and she was selling like sexy stuff like, lingerie, all types of candy and sexual type stuff. And she was making tons of money, having fun, getting the girls together, going to different houses, getting a little drink on. And she was showing the products that she had, and she was making money direct to consumer, cutting out the middleman, which increases your profits. And that's what it's all about, guys. Profitability. The more profit that you make, gross profit that you make, the more money you have to connect with the consumers. Okay. So if it's online marketing, instead of paying the middleman, and I'll use the example with the condoms, if I have $2.20 now, if I go direct to consumer, I can use some of that $2.20 to connect with prospective customers. Okay. So once again, in that scenario, it cost us 75 cents for the product. We would sell it to the stores, the retailers, for $1.50, and they would sell it for $2.95. So we made 75 cents and the store made $1.50. Now, if I sold direct to the consumer, I sell it for $2.95. My cost is 75 cents. I made $2.20. So instead of giving that other 75 cents to that retailer in between, I can take that money, and if I can sell it to the consumer for less than that, I'm on top. And that's what it's all about. It's about margins. So anytime you're selling a product and or a service, you have to have the margin in there to be able to connect with the prospective customer. Okay? So any product or service you sell, if you don't have the right margins, you're in trouble. So make sure that you have the margins and take advantage of selling direct to consumer. Man, I was cracking up with my cousin the other day. I was sitting in the car and I was just talking to him, and I'm like, yo, cuz, I said, remember, man, when we were little, we had to get up and turn the television. We didn't have a remote. And then I was telling him about stuff, with my kids, like we didn't have microwaves when I was growing up. You had to put stuff back in the oven. So people that are, younger than me, that are used to, if you're 18, 20, 21, whatever it is, and you're listening to this podcast, you're used to the internet. You take it for granted. But what you don't understand is that it's such a viable way to make money. Everybody is doing it. And if you're not doing it, something is wrong. Direct to consumer. Direct to consumer. You have streaming companies, right? Netflix, direct to consumer. You don't have to go to the movies anymore. You pay $14, whatever it is, a month, and you can get movies right there on your television. You don't have to go to the movie theater. I remember back in the day, like I'm a big boxing fan, so we used to have to go to the movie theaters to watch the closed circuit fights. Hagler and Leonard, right? That was 86, 87, I think 87. I had to go to a theater to watch that. I couldn't do a pay-per-view right at the crib. That's direct to consumer. All right, you see the commercials, the infomercials, direct to consumer. But now it's even simpler. As opposed to spending hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars of running a TV commercial, now you can target specifically who you want to market to. Direct to consumer. All right. So And I've been saying it all the broadcast, but that's what it's about. Direct to consumer. Cut out the middleman. Number one, control the sales process. Number two, you do not have to wait for payment. Number three, and this is the why. Instantaneously getting paid. No 30 or 60 day nets. And you build direct relationships with your customers. And that's what you need, to build direct relationships with your customers. All right, that's the why. The how. Number one, be patient and build your database. It's not going to happen overnight. Yes, you can sell things without a database, but it's much easier to sell things with a database. And you want to be able to create content so you can document a process. You can reteach what you hear or what you read. It's decoding a chapter from a book, decoding a video. How many times you go on YouTube and you put something on and you think you're going to watch this video, and then there's some joker that pops up and he's talking about the video, or he's talking about an instance. And basically they're decoding something for you, an easy way to create content. Also, you can teach something that you know. It could be via video, it could be a checklist, it could be a PDF. And we're talking about how you do this right now. So number one, be patient. Number two, build a sales funnel. You got to move people slowly from prospect to customer. And it doesn't happen overnight. Now, if you're selling a low-end product that's you can demonstrate very easily, yeah, you can make a customer like in one pass. They can see a video. Oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, I like that T-shirt. Yeah, let me buy it. They know what it is. It's a T-shirt. Here's a design. Great. But you still want to build a sales funnel in that database. And number three, stay in touch with people. If you have a prospect or a customer, continue to put quality and useful content out to them so that you'll be on top of mind. Okay, so when that person is ready, willing, and able to buy that product or service, your business or your product or your service is on top of mind. Okay, so stay in touch and stay connected. So that's today's show, family. The power of direct-to-consumer sales, how and why you need to take advantage of it now. And I'm going to tell you once again, and for the last time today, if you're not selling something direct-to-consumer, you're missing out. And one is the worst number in business. All right. Before we close out also, if you are in the BEB Academy, make sure you check out the Social Traffic Rush. It's a new, just came out. It's a PDF ebook download. So just go into your BEB Academy dashboard and you can get that now. And it talks about getting a rush of targeted traffic from 10 social media platforms. So definitely check that out. Now, if you need to connect with me, anything long, hit me on my email, JayJones at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com, JayJones at blackentrepreneurblueprint.com. Check me out on Facebook. Just go to Facebook, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, like the page and connect with me. Twitter, my handle is JayJones001, JayJones 001. Instagram, JayJones for real, JayJones the number 4, REAL. YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have additional content that does not come out on the podcast. Yes, the podcast comes up on YouTube, but I have additional content on YouTube. So go to YouTube, type in Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and hit the subscribe button. LinkedIn, if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, go to LinkedIn, put in JayJones Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, and connect with your boy there. If you want to be included in the BEB text line for special notifications and reminders, just text BEB to 555-888. BEB to 555-888. And last but definitely not least, if you want to book me for an organization, a university, a college, a school, or a talk, just go to bookjayjones.com, fill out the form, and I will see you whenever you want me to come out. Now, I say this each and every week, guys, and I'm going to continue to say it. I know it's during the summertime, people on vacation, myself included, but the downloads continue to increase day by day, episode by episode, and I attribute that all to the BEB family. Please continue to spread the word about the podcast, also the blog, Black Entrepreneur Blueprint, the actual platforms, Be Smart, Buy Black, Hire Black Freelancers. Everything that we're doing here, it's about the ecosystem. It's about circulating the black dollar in the black community worldwide. Sometimes I forget, even though we're downloaded in 150 plus countries or whatever, I got to keep remembering this is worldwide. So please continue to spread the word. Use the platforms. They're free. Just please continue to spread the word so we can get this out there. And once again, it's about building an economic power base in the black community. Okay. Once again, like my t-shirt says, there's no revolution without economics. Everything starts from that. If we just make a concerted effort to spend money with black owned businesses who then can continue to grow and hire more black employees, we're going to make a tremendous difference. It's a war going on out there, family. I don't know if y'all know. It's a war going on out there. It's a silent war. And actually, it's not even that silent anymore. So we need to be able to fortify ourselves and continue to build. And the only way you get stuff done is economically. So marching, that's a part of it. All that other stuff. What people listen to is when they get hit in the pockets. Okay. So we want to be able to control where our dollars go. We don't want to patronize businesses that don't want us, even though people are still continuing to buy Gucci and all of that stuff, even after all of this nonsense that they're putting out there. And once again, if we continue to do that, then they're not going to take us seriously. And so we got a lot of work ahead of us, family. So please make a concerted effort to try to spend a portion of your money on black owned businesses, as many as you can, so we can support each other. We're the only ethnicity that does not do this on a regular basis. It's something that is not taught as we grow up. So if you have kids, instill that in them. Okay. We've been taught and brainwashed so long that we don't even trust our brothers and sisters in business. And we give them a higher priority or higher criteria than we do other businesses. So we go into a black owned business and something goes wrong. Oh yeah, it's a black owned business. That's why I don't go to black businesses. You go somewhere else and you waiting 35 minutes for your food. You don't say nothing and you'll be back there again next week smiling with your wallet in your hand. Be conscious, family. Be conscious of what you do and who you spend your money with. I love you guys, and I'll see you same time next week. Peace.